Beatrice Edu, and coming up, Speaker of Parliament awaiting final details of the probe into the ministerial vetting chaos that led to the destruction of property in Parliament. Also on the program this morning, Interior Minister reveals investigations into 2020 and 2024 election violence show that police and military were responsible for 7 deaths. Also coming up on the program, a Ghana Aid Commission to roll out condom dispensing machines due to alarming decline in condom use. All of these stories and more in the next few minutes, but in our first story, the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, says that the police are yet to submit their report from investigations into the ministerial vetting chaos. He says that the report from the ad hoc committee constituted to probe the matter has been submitted with recommendations, but he is awaiting more details to act.
MPs were being vetted in this very hallowed place called Parliament. Speakers were broken, chairs were broken, microphones were broken. Nothing has been made about it. Mr. Speaker, if you do not handle this matter, it will hang on your neck as a garland of shame. I don't want you to go home with a garland of shame. So what are you doing about it, sir?
That happened during this 9th Parliament, and we are actually working on it. You listened clearly to my directives. It was not only Parliament, but I called in the police to investigate the criminal aspect of it and submit a report. That report has not yet come. We've been following up on it. Even this morning, we're discussing it. Yes. Then also there was to be evaluation of the items that were damaged, and then we'll get to know how much, so that when we are handling the report, together with that, I can make the necessary orders. The committee has submitted a report and with recommendations, which we have, but we are waiting on all this so that when I'm giving my directives, then you can make a complete statement and bring an end to this whole saga. So that is really being worked on. It's not shelved at all.
Well, the Speaker also revealed that he did not receive any handing over note from his predecessor, Professor Michael Quay, justifying the need to pass a law for the transition of Parliament. He told editors and news managers on Tuesday that Professor Okoye did not hand over to him. He also said that the executive arm of the government can investigate the chaos that took place during the election of him on the 7th of January in 2021.
In fact, when I took over after what happened on the floor and I was sworn in and I moved to my office, I was expecting to meet Professor Michael Quay for us to have a chat, and I didn't meet him there. So I asked, where's Prof? And then once, he was told that he's gone, he drove home. I said, what do you mean by that? You mean he drove himself? He said, no, some driver drove him home. Why? Why won't he wait for us to have a chat and discuss how to transit? And that was all. And so I really suffered a lot in silence. And because I wasn't also in government, almost all my, courtesies and others were taken away. I didn't get them at all for the 4 years that I was Speaker in the 8th Parliament. Ambassadors were afraid to meet me at the airport. They were even afraid to extend vehicles to me when I was doing official work outside. And I read some of the things they told you that I did outside, which were not true at all. We are bringing a new bill to also look at the parliamentary transition. We passed a law, and that is one of the reasons I said what I said earlier on, that we're passing laws for the executive, forgetting about parliament. So we passed a Presidential Transition Act, but there is no law governing the transition of parliament. And you all saw what happened on the 7th of January 2021, because that was a peculiar situation where you have a hung parliament, and there was a serious struggle to get me, coming from a party that is not in government, to be a speaker of people in government. That is something that is being debated by most of you. But I know and I'm convinced that the reasons why we did not set up a committee to go into that thing is in the national interest. That is why I called on the state agencies who deal with law and order to take up the matter, not parliament, because they are in the better position. Anybody who has violated any electoral law or criminal law or whatever, they will investigate and take action. Why should it be parliament?
And watch wise that the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, the police and military have been implicated in 7 of the 15 deaths recorded during the 2020 and 2024 election violence cases in parts of the country. The Interior Minister, updating the public on the investigations into election-related violence, revealed that procedural actions were overlooked, legal requirements were violated, and there were instances of clear breaches of discipline.
Ghana's 2020 and 2024 elections, though largely peaceful, were nonetheless marred by isolated incidents of violence and confrontations between security personnel and civilians at some polling stations. Providing updates on the status of investigations by the 13-member committee set up by the IGP on the instructions of the President, Interior Minister Muntaka Mubarak Mohammed noted, amongst others, some personnel of the security service misconducted themselves during those elections and were responsible for some of the deaths recorded.
The Special Investigation Task Force identified 12 cases that took place during the 2020 and 2024 general election. These cases had resulted in 15 deaths across the country, and well over 40 individuals got injured. Some procedural actions were overlooked. There were instances of clear breaches of discipline. The investigation established that 3 of the cases resulting in 4 deaths are traceable to the use of firearms by armed police patrol teams. Military personnel were also found to be responsible for 3 of the cases resulting in the death of 3 persons. Investigation further established that 4 of the cases, which resulted in 5 deaths, were recorded when party enthusiastic supporters resorted to the use of firearms against their opponent. The 2 other cases involved persons who were lynched during confrontation between supporters of the 2 major parties.
The investigation group is thus, amongst others, recommending that the use of military for crowd control ceases, as well as a controlled use of live ammunition from lethal weapons.
The use of firearms by security personnel was not done under the command of a senior officer who could have ensured that appropriate rules of engagement were observed. Security personnel, especially the police patrol teams at the collation center, fired indiscriminately, and in some cases, they directed fire at the escaping crowd. Police should receive orientation and desist from using lethal force in crowd control situations. The use of armed military personnel for crowd control duties accounted for the incident that led to the death of 1 person and injured 4 others. The use of military in crowd control activity should cease.
He added the ministry is working with security and investigative agencies to ensure the arrest and prosecution of all those involved in the violence during the 2020 and 2024 elections.
21 suspects have been identified through witness interview, scene visit, reconstruction of crime and crime scene, and forensic and ballistic examination of material of evidence relevant to the cases. 11 new dockets have been built on the cases. 4 of the identified suspects have been arrested and admitted to police inquiry bills to facilitate further investigation and to trace their accomplices. 5 other identified suspects have been remanded in prison custody. Warrants of arrest have been procured to facilitate the arrest of some of the identified suspects who are on the run.
Indeed, the Interior Minister there, Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak, and the Member of Parliament for Esuatifi North India Hafo region, who allegedly incited the youth to attack the NIMOS task force, has been granted bail in the sum of 150,000 cedis, with one surety to be justified. This follows an interrogation by the Criminal Investigations Department after he was invited and later sent to court for his alleged role in the attack on operatives of the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat. Meanwhile, the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, has also condemned the alleged attack and denied claims that Parliament is shielding lawmakers from scrutiny.
The report of attacks on a team from the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, a task force which we all know has been established to combat illegal mining activities in the country, is most worrying. Also worrying is the fact that the attack was allegedly incited by one of our own, the Member of Parliament for Esuatifi North constituency. I am made to understand that the member has voluntarily submitted himself to the Criminal Investigation Department of Ghana Police to assist in the investigation, as many members have done in other cases. And so please, let it not be said anywhere that members of Parliament are being shielded from the rule of law. Not at all.
Mr. Speaker, the matter you've just raised, Galamsey, is one thing that, for the want of a better word, I must say that we as political leaders, active stakeholders of this democracy, have failed. And I say so without mincing words. We must, as political actors, know that there are matters that we have to agree upon and nip it in the bud.
Mr. Speaker, let me indicate that yesterday I got a call from the Minister for the Interior, Honorable Muntaka, that the IGP needed the member for interrogation. And so this morning, he went with our Majority Chief Whip and his lawyer. They received him at CID headquarters, took him through the processes, and I received a call not quite long ago that he has been taken to court, and as we speak, he is actually in court being arraigned. And so let me also indicate that as members of Parliament, we do not consider ourselves being above the law.
The Majority Leader, Mahama Ayariga, there ending that interaction in Parliament. Let's bring you some other issues. And the President has directed a forensic audit into the 13th All-Africa Games following the submission of a report by the National Intelligence Bureau, NIB, on the organization and management of the 13th All-African Games. Well, the President, after that submission, has directed the Auditor General to undertake a comprehensive forensic audit of all financial and operational aspects of the Games. The Auditor General is expected to submit the report to the President by the second week of December 2025. Some more here, and the Minister of Energy and Green Transition, John Jinapor, has stated that no contractor or operator in the petroleum upstream sector will be allowed to hold onto a block without fulfilling its minimum work obligations. Speaking at the Petroleum Commission 2025 Local Content Conference and Exhibition, the minister emphasized that the cycle of repeated extensions must become a thing of the past.
The cycle of repeated extensions of petroleum agreements must become a thing of the past. With increasing interest from these oil majors and reputable companies, no contractor or operator will be allowed to hold onto our oil blocks without fulfilling the minimum work obligations. And I met the finance minister, he told me that, Jinapor, if we do not do anything, this sector will collapse. And if we do not do anything, and that's the truth, in some 5-10 years' time, Ghana's energy sector will suffer a major shock. And this conference should look at that.
To some issues on illegal mining, and lawyers for the NPP Ashanti Regional Chairman Bernard Entwibuesiako, aka Chairman Wontumi, are disappointed the Attorney General dropped charges against the General Manager of Akonta Mining after he offered to testify against their client. Edward Akwokun, the former fourth accused person, and Wontumi were facing multiple illegal mining charges until the Attorney General withdrew the charges against them. Lord Edwasari has the rest of the story.
Lead counsel for Chairman Wontumi, Andy Apiakubi, speaking to journalists after court proceedings on Tuesday, indicated that the Attorney General ought to play his role as a Minister of Justice. He accused the Attorney General of attempts to undermine the course of justice.
If Attorney General, with all the materials available to him, all the resources available to him, including him being human personnel, if it is just for him to only rely on a former accused person to prosecute a matter against one of the accused persons or some of the accused persons, and he thinks that justice may not be undermined, that is his decision. The way that the Attorney General appears to be poaching his own accused persons suggests that there is intent to undermine the course of justice. We will resist your princess rule.
The NPP Ashanti Regional Chairman has pleaded not guilty to multiple charges of undertaking a mining operation without a license, felling and abetting the felling of trees in the forest reserve without written authorization, and has been granted bail. At the Criminal Court 4, presided over by Justice Audrey Kokuvite, the prosecution prayed for a short adjournment to serve the lawyers of Chairman Wontumi with disclosures. The case has since been adjourned to November 12 for continuation. At the Criminal Court 1, where Wontumi is facing multiple charges of mining without a license and felling of trees in the forest reserve, the case has been adjourned to December 4 because the presiding judge is on leave. Lord Idwasari, TV3 News, Accra.
And that's it for the morning news here on Newday on TV3. My name is Beatrice Edu. Thank you very much for joining us. Stay with us as we continue with Newday.
House or Flagstaff House, so to speak. But wherever you're joining us from, we are grateful. And so let me say good morning to Chairman Godwin Tamaklo, Chairman Prosper as well, Saleh for Combat, and then also Edmond Combat of the Tema Oil Refinery. Of course, I see Guy G. Guy G, good morning to you. Wishing you all the best for the day as well. But for all those who will be joining us from the diaspora, we're talking about Prince Nane York, Kwesi Mensah in Albany, New York, as well as Zillis Dwayne, Uncle Charles Thompson, the rest of everybody else watching us, whether it's Money or even Neodate Mills and Justice. Wishing you all the best all the way from Finland. We say we're grateful that you tend to watch us each morning. For those who are around the jurisdiction, we have cash out. It goes with the short code star 439 hash. As many times as you can, increase the number of tickets. And so we're going to have a mega jackpot on Friday. But now, please make sure you make use of the short code star 439 hash. And choose option 2. Okay. And then you're going to get a prompt. When you choose or you dial option 2, you're going to get a prompt. That prompt is going to ask you how many tickets you want. And then you have to make the decision, well, I want 40, I want 50, I want 30. My advice is you do 40 plus. All right. So myself and Beatrice Edu will be treating you to some great conversations this morning. We'll start off with this morning segment, and the latest statistics coming from the Ghana AIDS Commission, as well as the compilation from Public Health indicating that HIV cases increasing, but also the concern has been that at least 60% of infected people just don't know their status, even though we have the centers open for you to go do your test periodically if you can. And then also contraception not being used, well, protection devices not being used, particularly talking about the use of CDs or condoms. And so we'll be asking you the question this morning, what you make of these statistics, very grueling statistics as they are. And we'll take you through some of those numbers, whether countrywide, per region, etc., and what the infection rates are for HIV. And more importantly, when we transition to the big issues conversation, we have the team. We're going to have Solomon Owusu right here. Zato will be in the studio as well. Edem Agbana will be here. And we're discussing, well, a very important subject. And it's all about the All-African Games. The President of the Republic now making a decision that there has to be forensic audits to be undertaken by the Auditor General on expenditure for the 13th All-Africa Games, because some of the line items that we were told, according to those who are into anti-corruption drive, say that investigations will have to be done. And rightfully, the President says that we need to make sure that we unearth how the expenditure went, and then those who have to be held account are held account. And so very important for all of us to be here. So we'll have that as well. And you will know Mustafa Hamid, the former boss, chief executive for the National Petroleum Authority, had, well, said he was in court. So when he was just going to his car, one of those bloggers asked him what he makes of the case. I asked for his case. It's a useless case. It led to the Office of the Special Prosecutor swiftly reacting to him, all right? And again, restating the charges being preferred on him in court. And I don't know what you make of it, but, you know, he also has his right to be heard as well in court, and so that's subject. But what do you make of the position of the West? So we'll be discussing that, and it promises to be quite exciting. So we'll have that, and then we're going to have the latest sports headlines. You know that Liverpool, they won at Anfield against Real Madrid, and I know somebody who had lost the phone, as well as now having Real Madrid losing yesterday evening as well. Not a good time for Delcy and the rest of the team as well. And I have some great people celebrating their birthday, so I wish them. But we have this morning segment, and it's up now. So we have some code cards for you on the subject of HIV and the infection rates as they are. So I'll just quickly take you through. And due to the incremental rates being recorded by the Ghana AIDS Commission for HIV infections, the AIDS Commission intends rolling out dispensing machines. You know, like the way they dispense Coke and some of those ones, you know, at various vantage points. So they intend doing that at vantage point to encourage the use of condoms as a form of protection. And it is because we've had we're having some alarming rates over the last year. Some 15,290 new infections of HIV were recorded countrywide, the whole of the country, all right? And with 60% knowing their status. So 40% don't know their status according to what we have here. And also means that 1 in 4 people living with HIV are not receiving treatment, all right? So they are not getting access to ARVs, antiretroviral drugs, but they are not receiving treatment at all. Why is due to various varied reasons. Now, in Ghana, the fatality or death recorded for HIV is 13,000 annually, all right? In some other countries, quite low because they have access to treatment. Now, 13 people die from HIV as well as HIV or AIDS-related illnesses, all right? So there are complications if you get into the transmission mode of being declared having AIDS, so to speak. So that's the latest we have. What do you make of this? And if you're a watcher of this, what do you think needs to be done to stem the tide, to improve the awareness, etc.? So please, you can join us on phone. And please, all right. Let me say good morning to you, Andy Edemagbele. Great guy. We already have Alhaji. Is there Alhaji Bino Yerbushele? Good morning to you, Alhaji Bino Yerbushele. How are you?
Oh, fine.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm well.
First of all, let me send a greeting to you and entire family for the TV3, Kupiti, the lad, and others, and people. Selina Musa and his husband, Alaja Lassan, and Chairman of Ampofu, and the ADG come up with just send my message to my boss.
Okay.
I wrote your loyal fan yesterday evening because he's always like me and you conversation.
All right.
Yeah, it's like my brother, Africa, and popular known as Crack.
Crack.
Yeah, Crack.
Okay.
Okay. You see, when you look about the comment President John Dramani Mahama made, sometimes we need to have a leader like President John Dramani Mahama because he's thinking about the country. How can we build the country? So if we want to build the country and you know that some people do it wrongly and you did not correct them and you do what you will do to finish the country in balance, it's not good. So I just want to tell the Attorney General and the OSP, Special Prosecutor, they should focus the work and excellence that President John Dramani Mahama gives to them. Because we all want President John Dramani Mahama to arrest the corrupt people. Not President Mahama will arrest them, just that corrupt people will arrest themselves because you need very well that if you take the council money and they will arrest you. Look at the video speculation in the social media, your friend Mr. Fahmy.
Okay.
And you have anything with some to sympathize with the he own there is nothing. You know, listen to comments you make. How can you make such comments? It means that you think that they just follow the right process to prosecute you.
Okay.
I think let's keep on praying for the Mother Ghana. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
All right. Alhaji, thank you. I tried to hear or try to listen attentively, but it was quite difficult. And then Chairman Dominic Champon as well, wishing all the best for the morning. You say you're watching us and we're grateful. But again, what do you make of the the related statistics from HIV, over 15,000 infections annually, 13,000 people dying from AIDS, and subsequently the lack of the interest to use condoms as a preventive measure when having sex, just to prevent infection rates, and more importantly, if we have to talk about those who know their status, 60% just know their status, or 40% don't know their status, according to what I have here. So what do you make of this? What do you think we can do as a people to be able to encourage perhaps more productive lifestyles towards reducing infections when it comes to HIV, very importantly? I have this one from Sherry Giovanni. Good morning to you, Sammy. Wishing you all the best. He said the rate of HIV infection is alarming. Our lives are getting endangered by these alarming statistics. I'll suggest to the AIDS Commission to start campaigns against unprotected sex and HIV and AIDS in our schools, especially from the basic to the senior high schools. And that is coming from Sherry Giovanni. Now, good morning to you. What's your name? Where are you calling us from?
This Shani from Wali Wali.
Okay, Shani, how are you?
I'm fine, well, my brother. How are you too?
I'm well, Shani. Please go ahead.
Okay, I just want to greet you and then the good people of Wali Wali. And then I also want to join my brother Alagi from Tambali to greet Ajia Shamima Muslim. She's a sister to me. So I want to greet her this morning, wherever she is. And then I will say that I think that the statistics concerning the HIV infection is too high. Okay. And I think that we have to do something about it. Ghana Health Service and then everybody, we must work hard. In fact, there used to be sensitization on the issue, but recently it's now there's no more sensitization regarding HIV. Yeah, so people are going doing their normal businesses. They don't care about it again. And then sometimes the stigma too is something that is making people not to report about their status. Okay, so when people are infected, they fear that when they allow their colleagues to know, maybe they figure that they go through. So because of that, they just see it as normal, and they also go around and then infecting other people, which is not the best. So I also want to portion my people in Wali Wali and then the northern regions too, because there is these people who are going around cutting meals. The Zambarma people, they go around and cut people's meals, and they don't do any proper treatment of their machines. So they cut from one person to another, and then they don't do proper sterilization of their machines. So I believe that is another cause of the disease. So we need to be very careful about that particular thing. And then, my brother, I just want to talk more about the African Games, what the president has said about it.
Yeah, the forensic audit.
Yes, I think that it's long overdue. Because since last year, I can remember immediately after the games, there was a group that petitioned the special prosecutor, to look at the whole thing about the African Games. Because my brother, the sports minister then, Mustafa Yusuf, when he went to the Public Accounts Committee, and then the figure that he presented there, in fact, the expenditure that they made, $25 million. In fact, it was quite staggering. It was mind-boggling. And if you look at the breakdown,
you mean $250 million, or?
Yes, 250 million. I think it was too much. And then you said this, and you said they spent 190 million of that dollars on pre-tournament, preparations. Then you ask yourself, what kind of preparation did they do? And then during the tournament, he said they spent $45 million on food and transportation, logistics, and all that. At the time that we were crying that, pensioners were not getting their money, they will have this kind of money to waste. They also said they paid $3 million to GBC. GBC later came out and denied that particular report. So it means that they use our money anyhow, for their own selfish and parochial interests. So I'm very happy that the president is ordering an investigation into that matter, so that anybody who is found culpable will need to face the full rigors of the law. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. So again, and I see that there's interest on the forensic audit that the president has called for into the expenditure for the 13th All-African Games. Took place in 2023, and subsequently there had been concerns. For example, we had $4 million being used for accreditation. You know, the tax that are used. If you go for a conference, those tax that are used the accreditation and the processes, etc., all cost $4 million. Food, $15 million. $15 million for food. Then they had some rehabilitation of some hostels in the University of Ghana on the campus, etc. So a lot of people had a lot to say about it. And so the president says that a forensic audit by the Auditor General needs to be put together or convened on this. All right, so what do you make of it as well? And the HIV rates also were told by the Ghana AIDS Commission increasing. We have plus 15,000 infections over the last year, 2024, year to year, subsequently indicating that only 40% know their status. So a lot of people don't know. That rate is quite low. And we have 13,000 deaths. And Beatrice, good morning. Very alarming, right? 30 people dying of AIDS. Because you have HIV, it means that you haven't gotten to that stage where you'll be declared to have AIDS, so to speak. Because at that point, then you have the complications from other illnesses because you have HIV.
And I think we're seeing a lot more people die because people are just not checking. And so they are just transmitting the virus from one person to the other. And there's still issues with stigmatization. So perhaps even when people suspect that they are ill, they do not want to really stick their necks out and go check, so they get a confirmation of what they fear, perhaps. But, well, that's why we have the AIDS Commission bringing in the new measure, as it were, to help encourage people use more condoms so they prevent the transmission of the virus to other persons. But we have Peter T on the line. Hi, Peter T. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us what's on your mind today.
All of you are doing well.
Cookie
has run away from the thing.
She hasn't. She's around.
Hello. Thank you for your good work that you're doing. Let me take this opportunity to Alhaji Yaokodo, Honorable Man, Director of Election National Democratic Congress, and Alhaji Ashka, and then also Mr. Zu, Tariki, all of Wawalu. Roland, as for the HIV, the least we talk about, I think the better, because you know that it got to a place, especially in the period of last 2 years, the government totally forgot about HIV, the HIV and its effect. But it has taken over. It has been taken over by this introduction of what is it? That disease that was spread all over the place. So government attention was on that disease more than anything. So everybody forgot about the HIV. So let's move on. My major interest today, this morning, is about this forensic audit something by the president, which has been ordered by the president. Realize, you know what? So if care is not taken, our future will be in a very serious jeopardy with our youth. Because now the NPP in the previous government have taken this money that they have funded and then they have stopped for granted. Because they have realized that even if government mentions it, they are not doing anything about it. Nobody has been convicted yet, so they are taking it for granted. So they come out and they mention this and done this, this and done this. This senior, this thing, the team are charging something. Look at the money that was funded. Look at the money. You realize that, you remember that when this thing, how do we call it? The exercise, that very game was over. There were service provided people who were complaining that have not been paid. And then they went to the ministry and they didn't mind them. Only to know that, not knowing there were selected people within the ministry that collected this money. And those money have not been paid yet. So people are taking this government for granted because of no action is being taken when the announcement is done on any particular person that has gone into conjuring some of this money. So for real that is there today and it's free. Nobody is 15.
Nobody is prosecuting him, let alone for him to be caught today. What are we talking about? So if actions are still not taken, and Ghanaians are not seeing anything, I don't think some of these news all the time with the series of press conferences, this person has done this person has done this, will yield any profitable result. We must be up and doing, government must be up and doing, and bring all these people to book so that we can see the light of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Peter T, for calling us and for sharing your views with that. Strong words there this morning. Very passionate.
Yeah. And so I have a couple of messages. Lydia Nyaba of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, you celebrate your birthday. Lydia Nyaba, happy birthday to you from myself, Naomi, Dorcas, and everybody else in the family. Wishing you all the best, Lydia Nyaba. And this one is coming from Iraja, who says, I'm watching all of you there, and your subject matter is very important for all of us. And Iraja Danso says that please wish my daughter 11th birthday for me, Kyla Owusua Konama Danso of Kingsby, New Achimota. Happy birthday to you, Kyla. And it's from your sister Kelsey Adubia Danso, your mom Felicia Edu Danso, and your dad Eric. Wishing you all the best for the day. And you say that you're loving the way we are looking this morning. And we have other messages as well. Arabasi Guamoni, good morning to you. The youth of today are more scared of pregnancy than HIV. And the worst part of it is they are very much aware what they have and deliberately ignoring it. It will surprise you. Some people still do not believe that HIV exists. And he says, for example, I did an HIV awareness program in some Ghana community some time ago, and you'll be shocked by the kind of feedback you will get if you go there. Very interesting there as well. And please, so we have the president has ordered for a forensic audit into expenditure for the 13th All-African Games. You know, it led to a number of roads being also rehabilitated alongside. We had a Boteman Road, then we had rehabilitation of some hostels and completion of the University of Ghana, sports stadium as well. That is now being used by all and sundry, various groups for various sporting activities.
Indeed. We have Joseph on the line. Hi, Joseph. Good morning to you. Tell us where you're calling us from and what you think of what is on the table.
Good morning and regards to all of you.
Thank you.
This is what you are doing, TV3.
Thank you.
I want to talk about the rising HIV deaths and matters relating to the HIV. Roland, I want to advise my brothers and sisters, our teeming youth. The promiscuity is so much. And then I think that the Ghana AIDS Commission, I know they are having offices at the district level. I think that the education must come down. Distribution of condoms and other public education. I think they can go to schools, churches, etc. Because if a whole year 13,000 dies through HIV, I think that is something we have to look at. Sometimes they complain of finances. I don't know whether they are giving the necessary financing to do this work. So for me, I will plead to all and sundry, especially our churches, schools, let us inculcate sex education into aspects of our curriculum and then church services so that people can be aware and be conscious of their health. Sometimes people also are feeling reluctant to go to hospital to check their status. I think that there's a need for us also to maybe if the Ghana Health Service, there's a need for them to do something about it, regardless of their confidentiality and etc. If there should be such that when you come to the hospital, they will check that if there's a problem, then they try to counsel you and they know how they can treat or give you the necessary preventive or the drugs. I think it is going to happen. With respect to the All-African Games, I think corruption, the previous government led us into so many pitches. And I think it is appropriate for the president to ask the Auditor General to do a forensic audit. And let's wait for the report. I think that let us not jump the gun. Let's wait for the report and then we are going to diagnose. And whoever is found culpable, I think we need to arrest them, get our money. Our roads are bad, we need water, and people are just suffocating and chopping our money here and there. I think there's a need for us to up our game, and the public officials must be responsive. And everybody who is put in the trust of the little resources of our country should think about the mass citizens. Other than that, we always be going about begging here and there. These games were organized elsewhere. I don't think that they recorded this massive corruption and this infractions. I think there should be something to be done. The Ghana Football Association, we go for World Cup, we don't get anything monumental for the state. But people are always chopping here and there. Even if after this or after this, there was a miniature stadium or something for the state, we would be applauding them. But it's like few people want to chop, and we the masses, we are all Council or committee. What is it? And then we are all hungry, my brother. I think I'll leave you here and enjoy your day.
Thank you so much, Joseph, for calling us and sharing those views with us. Well, let me tell you, there's a world-class university right here in Ghana, Rosebank International University, a strong South African university and a brand of ADV Tech Group, Africa's largest private education provider with 146 schools across 5 African countries and over 100,000 learners, and partly owned by the World Bank through the IFC. Rosebank International University is fully accredited by the South African Qualifications Authority, the British Accreditation Council, GTEC in Ghana, City Guild UK, and Capsicum Culinary Studio. At Rosebank International University, we offer a Doctor of Business Administration, MBA, Master of Science, and Master of Philosophy in Digital Marketing, Bachelor of Supply Chain Management, targeting professionals in freight forwarding, customs, etc. We offer hospitality and culinary art, available at diploma, undergraduate, and postgraduate levels. Remember that our ICT has BSc Information Technology in Business Systems and IT Computer Application Development, all carefully designed to equip you with the skills and qualifications needed for a successful global career. Our mission is simple: inspiring excellence. Admissions are now open for January 2026, and you can visit our modern campus at Airport Commercial or Pebia House, Accra, or apply online at www.riuc.edu.gh. Rosebank International University, building global citizens. And let's go to Emmanuel now, who joins us on the phone as well. Hi, Emmanuel. Good morning to you. Tell us where you're calling us from. What do you think of what we're discussing today?
Good morning, madam. I'm doing good. And how are you too?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for asking.
Thank you. The little I want to add into this our conversation is about the HIV addiction. I think everything is about campaigns and sterilization, as my colleagues have mentioned earlier. We need to make it common to everywhere, even in our banks, everywhere. I think when this COVID came, if you look at the percentage which they said people die through COVID, HIV every year, it tells you, when you go to take it and compare the number of people that die through HIV, then you realize that it is killing more than COVID-19. But because we were able to do much campaign, and COVID was something that was across the globe, people gave a lot of attention to it. But sometimes we seem to forget the little diseases that is with us every day and killing us every blessed day. Like HIV, we mentioned, like malaria and other diseases. So I think everything is about campaign. They need to do more on that. And come to the games. I could remember, I'm not a fan of football, but Ghana, when it comes to football, everybody is a coach. I could quite remember there were some games whereby after the game, they set a committee to do investigation. People wept at the committee level. What happens to those people? Watching an ordinary person who was sitting behind my television in Bongo watching the committee could realize that this person, when he is taken to court, he cannot go out free. But up to now, we do not know what happens to those people. People bought Kinche at that time. I mean, an amount that you cannot even mention it in public. What happened to them? So if the president is saying this, I don't think the president just saying it is enough. But the president should have it at the back of his mind that there was ever been an audit like that and came out with findings, and we want to know what happens to that findings at that time. But please, this one goes to your TV. I always go to work late because of your program. Because there is no a timeline on your screen. Whilst I'm dressing, I can be watching. So by the time I realize it's past 8 and I'm supposed to report. So please, if you can highlight the time on your screen every morning. So while some of us want to be listening to you the same time dressing to go to work, we can make it on time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel, for calling in and for sharing those views with us and the timeline as well. Thank you.
You want a time on the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
so
it's
he
done
can
for
watch
key
and know
points.
that.
I don't know about.
Yeah, it's time for him to go to work. Yes. Are there more messages?
Yeah. So we have a couple of messages, and also this one is from. It's from Courage Kotuka, who says that it's very sad to hear that. As a matter of fact, it's a wake-up call for all of us to strengthen education, encouraging testing and reducing stigma against those living with HIV, because together we can save more lives. And Courage giving us this. And this one is from Isa from Tema. I think the government should check the influx of foreigners in our country, especially around Tema. Some citizens from other neighboring countries around Tema, especially around Signature, Fariwa Junction, a popular spot, and their lifestyle indicate that they have completely forgotten about HIV, you say. And, so Gideon Wadada, good morning to you. DJ Wadada, how are you? It says, I wish a happy birthday. I'm watching all of you here. I wish a happy birthday to lawyer Sergio Leonard. Good morning to you, lawyer Sergio Leonard. Wishing you all the best for myself, everybody, Ojifa, your wife, etc. Wadada Kumasi. All right.
I think we have Rahman on the line. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us where you're calling us from and your thoughts. Hello.
Good morning, Beatrice Edu. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you too, sir?
I'm also fine.
Tell us, what do you think?
That's fine. My contribution to your discussion has to do with, a teaching problem that seems like it's a recurring issue every day. That is about corruption. I wonder whether there's any day that we can ever fight corruption. It's like our result to fighting corruption appears to be selective. I'm saying this because I'm just recalling what has happened to the over $100 billion medicine that was bought by American government to government. And when people sold the medicine and people were on their heels, officers were on their heels, they decided to contract somebody to set the whole medical center ablaze. You see, so it's like corruption has become part and parcel of the Ghanaian society. Now corruption has become so intractable in Ghana that it is no more corruption, open TV3. To an extent that farming, which is, you can farm, I'm the victim of what I'm telling you. You farm like maize. If you don't prepare yourself enough for organize yourself and go to the farm, before you go, somebody would have gone to harvest the whole farm. Why? You see, so this whole democracy, it's like democracy has either come to destroy the values of our society. So we should do more than what we are seeing. Every day committee, we have set up committee to do this, to do that. We don't nothing. We don't see anything. So me, my concept is that something that should happen more than this current democratic expectation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rahman, for calling us and sharing those views with us.
Well,
yes.
So very interesting there. And so we have other comments coming through. This one is coming from Akasokri Joseph. Good morning to you, Akasokri. He says the OSP is the reason why Mustafa Hamid said his case was useless, because he knows that the OSP cannot do anything to him. He will only come and talk plenty. He will only come and talk plenty without action. He should be removed from the office as OSP as soon as possible, you say. And then I have this one from Zach. Good morning to you. He says, I'm watching you live from the center of Ghana, Kintampo. Keep up the good work. Greetings to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He's number 3 on the ballot paper. Master Planner Junior, Policy Analyst, Kintampo. That's Master Planner Junior there. And, all right. So that's where we have to go for a break, right?
Yes, we have to, but not before this, because hunger can strike anytime. But Royal King Cracker is always on standby when you need it. Something enjoyable to munch on. Royal King Cracker brings the crunch and the battery taste. It fits right into your day, morning, noon, or night. Royal King Cracker, take choke your hunger. Just grab one and enjoy. This advert is FDA approved, and you're still here on New Day on TV3. When we come back, we'll bring you some more. But again, today is Wednesday, middle of the week. You do not want to miss the opportunity to get some 1,000 Ghana cedis for yourself. Always remember, *439#. You follow the prompt and you pick your favorite platform. And you know, your favorite platform is right here on TV3, number 2. So dial *439#. You follow the prompt, you pick number 2, which is your favorite platform. And you get the chance to get 1,000 cedis. We are giving 10,000 to 10 individuals. And there's a jackpot this Friday, actually. So giving out 20,000 Ghana cedis to one person, to 3 individuals. Okay, wow, 20,000 this Friday. So imagine you play, Roland will say as many times as 40 today, you get 1,000 and you get the chance of sharing the 20,000 cedis among 3 people. Do your calculation. That's like a lot of money. You can use it to support the rest of the money you have. Let's get on the phone now. Hi, good morning. We can hear you. Please tell us your name, where you're calling us from.
Thank you. My name is Hajia Halima, the freedom fighter from Medina Akumapa, the voice of the Medina MP Lawyer Susu, and the voice of the newly appointed Hajj Board Chairman, Honorable Alhaji Tanko Rauf.
Well, this morning, how is Medina?
Medina is fine. We thank God. We thank God for our lives. We thank God for giving us Honorable Susu as an MP, and we thank God for giving us His Excellency John Dramani Mahama as the President of Ghana. So Medina people, we are very, very, very thankful and grateful to Allah.
Yes, you have something on your chest. Tell us.
Thank you. Let me use this opportunity to appeal to my Muslims in the whole Ghana. Please, Hajj fare is being reduced as promised by the President. So, and now you can see how the dollar is coming down by the good governance of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and Honorable Atuforsen and Sami Jenshi. So please, if you want to go to Hajj 2026, hurry up and pay. Hurry up. Payments have begun. Hurry up and go and pay, because Honorable Alhaji Rauf Tanko is going to perform nicely and make sure that Hajj 2026 will be a very nice and very joyful one. So please go and pay.
So Hajia, tell us what you think of what we're discussing today. We're talking about the president asking for forensic audit into the All African Games, as well as the Ghana AIDS Commission concerned about the rate of HIV and...
Thank you. Thank you. You see, as a brother just said, the caller asked before I call. You see, we are entertaining corruption in Africa too much. I won't say Ghana. In Africa. This word corruption, I don't know where it is from. Because if someone went and took somebody's, or someone go and take somebody's fowl, or plantain, or cassava, it's called stealing. But when somebody dips his hand in Ghana's coffers and take lots of money at top, it is called corruption. Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't understand that one. So because of that name corruption, they will say forensic audit, they will say audit, they will form committees. Apart from, we lost a huge amount of money, they say they are going to investigate. They will investigate. You won't hear anything again. My sister, stealing is stealing. If you go and catch somebody's foul, it's stealing. If you dip your hand in the coffers of taxpayers' money, it's stealing. If they catch you, the law must deal with you. We are in this country. All African nations gave the kind of PPP that they use for that thing.
Abba Hajia from Medina in Accra, thank you very much for calling in. But do stay with us, because when we come back, we'll bring you some more.
all the people who are right here of the NGO, that is the World Human Rescue and Advocacy Organization. Great conversations to have this morning. Top on the lineup will be the president calling for a forensic audit into expenditure in 2023 for the All African Games. At least I tend to use the Boteman Road from Ajegwejo to Boteman Road. It's one of the legacies of the All African Games for 2023. And so it's one huge legacy. One huge legacy also is the rehabilitation, which is now in great use, of the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. And so, but alongside, well, some people in our society, especially anti-corruption crusaders, seem not to be happy with the explanations that were given for the line items for the $245 million spent on that games. 13,000 participants from various African countries came for those games as well. And now the president, after consistent calls over the last couple of months, now has triggered the Auditor General to investigate that. You would also know Mustafa Hamid, the former CEO for the National Petroleum Authority, had said that the OSP's case against him, as well as others, was useless, so to speak. But subsequently, we've had a number of concerns on social media, particularly because the OSP swiftly responded to Mustafa Hamid, again reiterating the charges and the reasons why they had been arraigned before courts. It's quite an interesting, I won't say drama, but issue as well. So make sure you stick and stay, join us. But we'll be talking briefly about, now we're told, being arraigned before court or being charged. The Member of Parliament for Isunafo South granted bill 150,000 Ghana cedis, and it follows his actions and inactions in what he claimed to be an intervention he made to quell some agitations in Shidim that happened over the weekend, and over the last 4 days has been trending. And a number of people have commended the president for taking the action swiftly, although also say that, well, it also means that his key party members and leaders are into Galamsey. What do you make of it as well? So all of you who are joining us, we're grateful. I have here Dr. Joshua Jamuntiezato of Sisala East. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Roland.
He's even in blue.
Good morning, Roland.
Good morning. How are you?
We are just giving time some time, you know.
Yeah, who coined that phrase? I thought Dennis Miracle Abuaja.
I have no idea. I just know it's a good phrase.
Akanai. All right. Edem Agbana is also the Member of Parliament for Ketu North. Thank you for joining us, Edem.
Thank you, Roland.
And then Solomon Owusu. He currently is is it General Secretary?
No, Director of Communications and Spokesperson.
Okay. Director of Communications.
You want to reduce my title?
My apologies, sir. Of the Butterfly Party, United Party, the reincarnated UP. Let me say good morning to all of you who have joined us as well. But the NIMOS issue seems to be dominating the headlines. I see Joanna Kwe. Joanna, it's been a while I've seen you on the stream, but good morning. Thank you for joining us. Please share the stream. Let's have some great conversation. Today promises to be interesting. Prince Nani Ayok is watching us from the UK. Yamole Yamo. My sweetheart, how are you? Good morning to you as well. I see Roger Gongo, a number of you. Please make sure you share the stream. Money. Newton, Sir Newton. It's been a while. FOE Suto as well as Amako Konsa. All of you, please share the stream. Let's have some great conversations thereof. Hudu Joe, Pajo as well. And Zilis Dwayne. Zilis Dwayne. They trashed. Oh no, it's not trashing. It's just a 1-0 win over Real Madrid. And he was all over the place on social media. Zilis Dwayne, good morning to you. Ni Dromosaki, please share the stream lessons. And then Daniel Akpaliok, Ashong, I see you as well. Now, Edem, your colleague, I'm told he's your friend as well. Yeah, and now he's been charged.
Roland, let me say good morning to my brothers on the panel, to you, and also to our cherished viewers across the world. And kindly permit me to acknowledge a personal loss. Yesterday, we lost a brother and a very good friend of mine, a colleague in the struggle, Prince Patrick Ankra, popularly known as Kofi Wayo. He left us sadly yesterday, and myself and all of us in the NDC and young people across the political divide who have fond memories of Kofi Wayo are in sharp pain, and allow me to extend my deepest condolences to the family, especially to his young wife and his young children. His passing is a sharp reminder that at every point in time, our involvement in this political enterprise should be about the people, should be people-centered, should be about selfless service, should be about sacrificing to make this country a better place. And Kofi Wayo was that genuine person who stood by everybody and who responded to everyone anytime you called on him. And it's sad that we lost him at such a crucial time. And so I want to extend my condolences to the entire NDC, especially to the youth wing of the party for such a great loss. Roland, back to the issue of Galamsey and my colleague, the Honorable Ebenezer Kwekuado, who is currently before court for his alleged involvement in some acts that sought to undermine the operations of NIMOS, or operations of the Anti-Galamsey Task Force that we have in place. Let me, even before delving into the issue, register the fact that yes, the Honorable Ebenezer Kwekuado is a very good friend of mine, one of my colleagues in Parliament. We are all backbenchers, and because he's quite young, we go along quite well. He's a very good friend. I have known him for many years, even before we entered Parliament, because I was Deputy National Youth Organizer of the NDC, and so I've worked with him across his constituency and in the Bono, the Ahafo regions and all of that. Having known him and the kind of person he is, I was surprised when I heard the news, or I read some of those things on social media, because he's one of the young people that I easily can vouch for as somebody who will not engage in any act of illegality to the extent of even mobilizing thugs or people to go and attack NIMOS. And so when I heard it, the first thing I said was we needed to verify and hear his side of the story. I quickly sent him a text message. I called him, and he denied flatly all the allegations leveled against him, and he raised some very critical issues. And listening to him, the matter is before court, and so I cannot pass judgment. But listening to him and the facts as are available to us now, I believe that the young MP did not commit the acts that he was accused of. I believe. I'm saying that I don't want to go, but listening to him, that's what I said, because I don't know what facts the prosecution team has against him in court. But listening to him and how he narrated the incident, this may appear to be a coincidence of a sort. And Roland, let me tell you something. As a member of Parliament, it is very easy for any of us as MPs to fall into such circumstances or such coincidence. Very easy. Especially if you are operating, or as a member of Parliament, you are very responsive to the people. I will give you a typical example. On Monday, we had a sword cutting for an ultramodern ICT lab in Ehi in my constituency. So the constituents believed, or some imagined, we with Prof. Double, the one that the Charity Galley Foundation is leading. After the sword cutting, I left a he around 5 p.m. that day. Around 9 p.m., I got calls from a he that there was some mob action in the community because a gentleman has stabbed his friend, he stabbed somebody to death, and the youth thought that the police could not handle the case. So the same community. If I was in the constituency, maybe I would have driven to the scene to calm the youth down, because as a leader, you expect that they will listen to you. But because right after the program, I left for Accra, I was not around, so I told them I wasn't around. I called the police and asked them to maintain peace and order and all of that. As we speak, the gentleman who was stabbed is no more. The one who allegedly committed the offense was also beaten to pulp, and many other. It was quite chaotic. Now, naturally, when there are incidents of this nature, instead of reporting to the police, the people's first resort is their political leaders.
Really?
So, yes, and that is the reality on the ground. I don't know about Dr. Zato, but the truth is that if there is...
They call you guys first?
They call us first. Roland, if there is any chaos anywhere in our constituencies, look, I can tell you, you can conduct a research. More than 90% of our constituents may not even have the contacts of the police, or may not even know which numbers to call to get to the police. So even when there is an accident, when there is any chaos, there is fire, we the political leaders become the first point of call. And so if you are around, it is possible that, like he said, he was traveling for a funeral and he used the community, he was just trying to bring calm. Like I said, I don't want to go into the merits of the case before it is before court. But in all of these things, Roland, there are three things that I think that we must focus on, that should be a lesson, that should tell you again that the NDC is different. Number one.
Which are those?
Number one, here is a member of parliament, part of the NDC, his party is in power. But see how swiftly the party has allowed for the institutions of the state, the courts, to work. In fact, some of us disagreed with the bail conditions that the judges gave. But here is our member. His party is in power. The president did not shield him. The party chairman did not shield him. Mr. Speaker did not shield him. And the party has allowed and said, let the gentleman be taken to due process for him to prove his innocence. That tells you that the NDC is substantially different, because under the NPP, we didn't witness this level of political commitment.
Oh, Charles Bissue, etc. They were all investigated.
Even when there was a video evidence against Charles Bissue, he was cleared. He was cleared. Roland, look.
OSP investigated.
Roland,
we have
this could not have happened under the NPP, that their sitting member of parliament will be hauled before court in this swift manner. When did the issue happen? Over the weekend. And yesterday was Tuesday. Speaker had granted permission, the party leadership had agreed, and the gentleman went to court. First thing we have to notice, it tells me that my party, my government is committed to the fight against Galamsey. And my party is so law-abiding that regardless of your status, regardless of your position within the party, when you are seen as an impediment in our fight against Galamsey, the party is ready to deal with you. Yes, the gentleman will have his day in court, but the way the party has handled, the way the government has handled this issue should give us some confidence that we are substantially different.
And then when you spoke to your friend, you said he's your friend.
Very good friend.
Apart from being a colleague, he's your friend.
Yes, he's my friend.
Did you ask him whether he brought tax or people?
He denied bringing tax, and he told me.
So the people, the people who made the eyewitness or hearsay report are lying.
He was traveling with his vice chairman and his driver, and basically when you are going for a friend, you can even see from his outfit that the gentleman was on his way, and that part of the, where the thing happened was not even in his constituency. But this, I mean, that's what he told me.
So wait, he took keen interest.
I have no reason to doubt him.
So he took keen interest in the matter in which he's not.
Roland,
That is his neighboring.
A constituent
That is
MP.
your neighboring constituency, Roland. If I am going to Ketu North and something is happening in Akachi, I will not say because I am not Honorable Bernard Anhiafo, so I will just ignore and leave. So it happens. There are many times that sometimes our colleague MPs will come to your constituency, face a situation, solve the problem before they will even communicate to you. Recently, there was an accident in my constituency involving a constituent of Afram Place, so Honorable Peli Walasi. After we resolved the issue, he quickly called and said, oh, those people were my people. It happens all the time, Roland. And so there is nothing wrong if an MP decides to intervene in a situation in his neighboring constituency. Like I said, he will have his day in court. But with the accounts that the Honorable Ebenezer Kwekuado gave me, I have no reason to doubt him at all that he is not, but he will prove that in court. I am not the court. Roland, the second thing we should take notice of, see how quickly NDC leaders went after the gentleman, even when they did not hear his side of the story. Appointees of this government, communicators of the government, see how NDC leaders, including even MPs, went after the gentleman. It tells you one thing, that as a party, as a government, we are willing to put our all in this fight against Galamsey. And so we will not tolerate any acts of subordination, any act that seems to undermine that fight. It tells you that we will not say because the person is an NDC member, the person should be shielded. But let me bring you back to something. Recall, earlier this year, on your platform, Edwiji Tameklu, who now has NPA, mentioned it here and sent this warning to the NDC members that when you are caught in any situation of Galamsey, be rest assured that President Mahama and the NDC will not shield you. And that is what we have demonstrated. And Roland, the third thing is that Parliament really has allowed for proper separation of powers in this matter. When the issue was reported, our leadership did not shield him. The majority leader, Chief Whip, all of them, they have been involved in the case. They've allowed for the gentleman to go. He was with the police yesterday. When they granted him bail, it took some time for him to be able to gather the sureties, even though some of us disagree with the bail conditions. Well, how can you say, for example, that a gentleman cannot travel out of Greater Accra when his constituency is not here? He is a member of Parliament. The fact that you are investigating him or you are taking him to court does not mean you should stop him from doing his parliamentary work. So tomorrow, if there is a forum, if there is a program in his constituency, he cannot go because he's going to court. He's not going to travel out of this country or run away or anything like that. So even though we disagree, we have seen that institutions are working. We have seen that the NDC is truly committed to the fight against Galamsey. And I wish my brother Ebenezer Kwekuado well. I met him again yesterday after they granted him bail. And he is so confident that he is innocent. And I pray that he will have his day in court to prove his innocence on account of what he has told us.
All right. Dr. Zato, what do you make of this? A lot of narrations, he says it also shows that...
Was Erastus at the scene? I forgot to ask. Because he brought out the issue. Erastus outside Donko. We appreciate his fight, the things he does, but was he at the scene?
He's speaking based on intel.
Intel.
And he's always been doing his work mostly based on intel.
But he created the impression as though he was at the scene and saw it and saw the MP lead the tax. These are some of the critical questions that we should be asking.
Dr. Zato, I see you are just keenly pondering over what you say. What would you say in response?
No, I was just listening to the Kweku Anansi stories. Nicely
you describe it as Kweku Anansi
by the honourable member,
please, no disruptions.
Honourable member of Parliament. What we've just heard today is perfectly captured as revisionist, and I like the revisionist whitewashing of your friend, and I like that. And I just like where you just ended now. You were not there to say something. You are questioning Erasmus Asaredonko's version, but you were not there. You believe everything your personal friend said. That is the classical example of whitewashing. And I've seen that attempt to whitewash this guy.
You're saying that he believes...
He just said it. No,
there's second-hand information from...
He believes what his friend said.
From the MP.
But he doesn't believe what
Erasmus said. He doesn't be the second information from...
Yes. So typical, very, very, very typical. But look, there's something I have to do. Before I come to the very issue, there's a hero and there's a patriot we have not acknowledged in this whole issue. And I think it is important that when things like this happen, we do that to give people the opportunity.
Who is a hero? Who is a patriot?
Colonel Dominic Bua is the director of operations at NAMUS.
You called him? He's your friend?
No, I don't know. I've never met him. There's a story on Ghana where he said, I survived by the mercy of God. Apparently, he was the man leading these things when it happened. This is a colonel of the Ghana Armed Forces saying that he survived by the mercy of God. He had other soldiers with him. He had a gun, and I'm sure the other soldiers had guns. There was a marauding mob besieging them. And I'm sure he would have remembered that a mob killed Mahama.
That's Major Mahama?
Major Mahama.
So whose account? Are you, is this Erastus's account or MP's account? Which one are you narrating here?
Saying there's a story in Ghana Web by this colonel saying that he survived by the mercy of God. And I'm now telling you that's where I want to start. This man is a hero. The soldiers he went to there are heroes. They are patriots. And they have demonstrated impeccable leadership. The Ghana Armed Forces should be proud of what these soldiers did. The Ministry of Defense should be proud of them. They should celebrate them. Because if you have soldiers well armed on an operation and they have been attacked by a marauding mob and nobody fired a gun, none of the soldiers fired a gun, none of the soldiers shot anybody, but they were able to handle this, even though you have the colonel saying that his life, he survived by the mercy of God. These are the perfect examples of leadership in Ghana. These are the men and women we want to be represented in the uniform in this country. I salute you, Colonel, this morning. And I pray that we have more leaders like you. We have more soldiers like you. Who will always show professionalism, patriotism, and dedication to duty in the work of doing. We salute you. Your story has been buried. Your stories have been buried because there's a politician. Your story has been buried because there are people running around whitewashing what the politicians have done. But I think that yours should be told because you've told us that you can be professional, you can be ethical, and you can do the right thing. I'm happy with that. Secondly, if you come back to these real issues, the actions of this MP is the classical examples of impudence, of arrogance, of lawlessness, and of politics. He did this because he knew he could get away with it.
Adam says it's an allegation.
He did this because he knew that nothing can be done to him. He did this because he saw somebody saying, he saw what's his name? The NDC National Organizer and the Youth Organizer were elected. He saw that.
None of the videos saw doing what you are like. No, Adam. Use the word alleged. No. He didn't pass Adam. Let me use the word alleged. That's what I'm asking.
Adam, please, let's establish the ground rules again, which I know you're very conversant with. Again, let me restate or reiterate that when you were speaking, Zato was not disrupting. And you held the position that your friend and then also your colleague, the MP, was innocent because he never committed the action. But you are happy that the president and even the speaker has triggered all the processes, agencies, and quasi-judicial bodies to be able to investigate this, and that the law should take its course. Is that not your position?
Yes.
Okay. He also holds a position that he has a conviction based on accounts, and he uses the Ghana Web story, Erastus's own second-hand information, as you want to call it, to again buttress his point. And so, Adam,
go ahead.
Please, you have 2 minutes to wrap up. Dr. Zato.
Anyway, the actions...
Should I bring you water? Because he's disrupting you. Please go ahead.
The actions and inactions of this MP could only come from somebody who has seen that the justice system in this country is tailored to favor him and his party members. It could only come from somebody who's coming from a place of impudence, of arrogance, and the temerity to lead people to go against the Ghana Armed Forces, operating on the lawful instructions from the commander-in-chief. For me, sometimes it's the reason, sometimes it's the motivation behind it. Sometimes it's the idea that the person even thought that he could do this, and two, he could get away with it. That is behind this. And for me, as I said, I'm happy. There are certain things. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I applaud you this morning for what you've done. But I'm surprised that this guy has not yet been referred to the Privileges Committee of Parliament. Because I can believe that if anybody else had done this at county parliament, the person would have been referred to the privileged committee to do this. I'm also disappointed that the National Democratic Congress, as a corporate entity, has not issued any formal statement, either to condemn this or to support this. So far, I don't know the position of the National Democratic Congress, and it's important. Because see, we have all been told that the reason why Galamsey cannot be solved is because of powerful politicians behind Galamsey. That there are very, 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 very powerful politicians behind it. If we don't start disowning these politicians, we are only festering the problem. If we don't start telling these politicians that you do not belong to us, we are festering this problem. So for me, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that nobody in the party has decided that let's issue a statement also as a sign to other politicians in this area. Formally.
But don't you think the party would have been putting the cart before the horse when they know that apart from key individuals, because I've seen Eric J, a number of criticism also being publicly, which are on social media.
My position is that the party as a corporate entity.
But investigations are supposed to be conducted, then they can issue a statement.
The party as a corporate entity has missed an opportunity to send a very loud message to all its members that they will not countenance with Galamsey. The party as a corporate entity has failed to tell everybody that their position is this and that if you do Galamsey, you are on your own. They didn't do that. And thirdly, look, whatever we do, what I know is that at the end of the day, there will be ways and means of making sure that this thing ends a natural death. This thing may go the way of other things that have gone. I have no power over that. But what I know is that Ghanaians are beginning to see a narrative. And the NPP, the idea was that the government and the NPP was protecting Akonta mining. The government and the NPP was protecting other people, other politicians. Every member of the civil society or the opposition will immediately quote the Professor Boateng report as if it was the Bible or the Quran. Yes, and rightly so. Because all that going to indicate that powerful people, powerful politicians, both in government, were enabling or assisting Galamsey. Today, it's a similar thing. Mr. President, you have a very excellent opportunity here as a case study to firmly put your imprints on this Galamsey thing. To firmly let us know what will happen. I want to see how far this issue goes because it has the potential of what? Weakening the morale of NEMUS. It has the potential of undermining the strict commands of the commander-in-chief to the soldiers and to NEMUS to do their work. It has the potential of saying that if you are powerful and strong, and if the party has your backing, you can get away with anything in the Galamsey side. So I want to see, let's treat this case as a case study, a case study. We will follow. The skepticism in me says that nothing will happen, but the patriotism in me says that let's continue to see how it goes.
He describes the Akukwu Anansi story, even though Edem vehemently disagrees as well. But from your own observation, the incident happened, is it Saturday?
Yes.
Late in the afternoon of Saturday.
Yes.
And the MP had to issue a statement, was it yesterday or?
I think, yes, yesterday.
Yesterday,
yes,
yeah. I mean, crisis communication 101.
You know
the time lag, so it breeds a lot of suspicions.
But let me just use 30 seconds.
But really, he has to be investigated, and so he's not guilty before the law until proven.
You see, these are the semantics. I can understand Adam's position as a colleague in Parliament. He has stated his position. I don't have any problem with it, but I have a problem with the MP and a problem with all those that are involved in this matter.
You have a problem with the MP?
The MP must not go alone. Collins Dada must be hauled before the court.
Oh, how?
The Defense Intelligence who first appeared on the site. Because remind you, and let me here declare, that in the same way that Adam has a very close relationship with Kwaku Ado, I have a serious relationship with Keneboa. In fact, he was my senior at Prempeh College. And if you are talking about the 3 top military officers who are so honest, in fact, he is the only reason why when President Mahama said that we had not fully exhausted the tools available to us and that he was not going to declare a state of emergency, I said, yes, there is hope in NIMOS. Because I know him, and I have said it on this platform, Keneboa, that if members of this government or within the NDC would allow Keneboa to work, we may never get to the point of a state of emergency. Because he's one fine gentleman that holds his integrity at heart. He will never take any bribe from you. All that he knows is that let me do the job. Let's look at the chronology of events. The site, and mind you, last week I wasn't here. I was on the 5 regional tour. We were inaugurating our interim executives. So I went past this very site together with Yabo.
The Fidium areas.
It is just by the roadside and very close to a police barrier. I keep telling you that wherever these illegalities are happening, it's very close to a police barrier. They are all complicit. So when we went past there, we saw it and it's like, Galamsey at it. Only to learn that this even happened afterwards. We were going to go so. Now, Kenabua was originally not going to that very site. He was on his way to go and do what they call reconnaissance. They were on the reconnaissance mission to identify a site that would be used as a permanent station point for NIMOS to deal with issues of Galamsey in the Afro region. On his way, he was alerted that something of that sort was happening. And
there was a commotion.
That there was an illegality, the destruction of the environment taking place. So
they were refining the tappings.
Absolutely. So he diverted his troops there, his members there, to go and see what was happening. After all, NIMOS is what? National Anti-Illegal Mining. So if he hears anything, irrespective of whether you were going there or not, you must pass there. And that is the mark of a professional soldier. That's the mark of someone who is ready to die for this country. He went there. He did not strike as a military officer. He decided to engage them, arrested all the guys at site, and asked the operator, the guy that was operating the machine, I have their full report here, to refill the land that they have destroyed. That's a mark. I mean, he deserves a national order.
Kenabua
deserves it. So when they started refilling the environment, so at a point he asked one of them to call the owner of the site. The first person to appear after that call was the defense intelligence assigned to Afro. That's why I say he must also be hauled to the court. They said they should call the site owner. The first person to come is defense intelligence. I keep telling you that it is the politicians and people that you call honorables in society.
You are saying that
is the reason why we are not dealing with
when he requested for
the owner of the site,
it was the defense intelligence
assigned person that came.
The representative.
He came to identify himself to Kenabua and his team as the defense intelligence person. The next person to come was one Alex. In a range over, arrogant enough, according to the NIMOS, instructing them here and there. So the Alex is there before the MP came. Now, why did the MP go there? That is why I don't want my brother Adam to take hook, line, and sinker what the MP told him or might have told him. Because it will not stand the test of any rigorous legal process unless we want to deal with this issue.
You mean under proper scrutiny?
So first of all, the reason why I said this MP and Kolizada must be hauled. The MP claims he was called by Kolizada to go and attend to a business. Now Kolizada, I've listened to his account. He claims the first person he called was an assemblyman. If you are an MP of an area and there is a security challenge, do you call assemblyman or you call the commander responsible for the region or the very area that they easily have?
Boss.
Absolutely. He cannot tell me that he's not oblivious of this fact. That when there is commotion, you call assemblyman. Mind you, in the case of Denjiro Obuasi, it was the same assemblyman, a supposed assemblyman, that led to the death of he led all the invasions.
Instigated
and caused the death of Major Mount. Here again, we have assemblyman. The assemblyman claims that he wanted to speak to Kenabua. And Kenabua said he wouldn't. It was the reason why Collins Dada called, what's the name, the MP for Stephen North to go in. Now, according to NIMOS, and I've seen all the videos associated with this commotion, there is no way in these videos that you see the MP who claimed he went there to, as it were, and show peace, calming any nerves. You won't see him in any of the videos calming any nerves. You understand? So that when they got there and he instructed, and mind you, he, the MP, together with his tax, instructed a colonel of the army. Yes.
He's saying that he went there.
They are tax. They shouldn't annoy anybody in this country. Who are the party? They are tax. They think we are joking in this country. Look, I lost my sister only last Sunday. And one of the reasons why I lost my sister at Kolebu last Sunday is because of the effects of Galamsey. And here, let me thank all the medical staff of Kolebu. The emergency UDC doctor, Donya doctor, Atakli doctor, what's the name, Angela Wood, for a yeoman job, though my sister did not survive. So if you come here and we are dealing with issues of Galamsey, nobody must try to deal with it. Collins Dada, the MP that went to the site, decided to instruct, together with the staff, an army officer, a colonel, assigned by the state to release the people that he had arrested.
You mean he instructed?
He instructed.
Keneboa?
Yeah, he instructed Keneboa. Can you imagine? They had their guns on, but
Who told you that? Because
I haven't. I just told you that Keneboa, is a very close friend. I have got him briefing. Me, I don't lie in anything. I have got him proper briefing. The LP, together with his staff, instructed him to release the guys. He said, no, I won't. But rather, I'll follow procedure. I want to send these people to police station. Listen to a professional person. He did not say he was sending them to Accra, but he was sending them to police station so that they go and deal with the police. It was there that they violently took the handcuff keys and freed the guys. You understand? You have done this and you are being told that what? You were there to make peace. Make peace to who? Make peace. If you are an MP and hear that there is something illegal.
Is an MP, the explanation I also got yesterday was that he is an MP of...
Esutif North?
No, a neighboring constituency who was passing through Esutif South, right?
Yes.
To a funeral. So he saw the commotion. Mind you, you say the thing is at the roadside.
Yes.
And so you see the commotion.
No, he said he did not see the gathering. He was called. He said he was going to a funeral. He was called by Collins Dada to attend to a business because Collins Dada claims he had called the assemblyman. The assemblyman could not deal with the issue, so he had to call him. And I'm asking Collins Dada that if there is a commotion in your constituency, do you call the district commander or you call an assemblyman? What is he talking about? You see, we do all these things to ourselves.
Well, but the president has ordered for
fantastic. I have said whether or not our democracy will survive entirely rests on President Mahama. I'm telling you, he must not take it lightly because a lot of things are going wrong and he has time with destiny to shape this country. He has time with destiny to fix it. And that is where I agree with Adam on the fact that ever since this matter came out, at least I've heard from Nupenu, I've heard Eric J. all condemn it. You see, when we are a political party, there is no way in any political party's constitution that says that you have to ask to go and engage in Galamsey to enrich yourself. Why is that them not engaging in Galamsey? Why is that them not being accused this morning? But Kwekuadu, they mobilized the tax for a military officer to say, I was saved by the mercy of God. It must worry you. If a military officer is claiming that the mercies of God saved him, then how much more you and I? The people went to the side with ammunition, arms. With arms. You have just been told by the interior minister that all the election violence and then deaths associated with elections are coming from confusion from both sides. People go to sides with arms, so their lives were threatened. But I'm happy this morning that Naimos have not lost hope. Because I have just seen that in spite of what happened to Keneboa and his team, they have gone ahead to arrest 7 Chinese in Zima area only yesterday. And so there is hope. But this administration must not, we know all the machinations that people, the backbiting on Keneboa, that he must be removed. If there is anything that I can say, that I would want to congratulate the minister, sector minister, that is Abba Kofi Bua, is the ample support that he is giving to the Naimos. If we are able to support them, forget about your politics, Ghana will make a headway. And these politicians must be told that this country does not belong to them. It belongs to all of us. You cannot destroy the environment and think that you are honorable. I'll end it here.
Quite interesting there. But so we know that investigations are ongoing. There was a bail condition. That bail condition was met, 150,000 as it is. And so the MP is on bail. And you're saying that Collins Dada also should be...
He has immediately, he said he went there on the instructions of Collins Dada. And this is...
Well, the police will have to investigate.
No, but Rola, it's very easy. This investigation must not travel long. First of all, you go to MTN or whichever telcos. they spoke on phone. You have their call records. You see, we create the impression as though it's too difficult. When we want to embellish it or cover things, they will say investigations. Go to MTN or Tigo, you get all the call records and hear the voices, whether or not Colin Zada was advising him to just pass there or he was instructing him to get tax. Then we are okay to go. Not because someone is spoiled, but in terms of the Speaker's order. May I have said that until the Speaker brings the perpetrators of those commotion in Parliament. You understand? You know, they destroy some equipment and furniture and the microphones, parliamentarians. The Speaker assured us that indeed he was going to bring all of them together and surcharge members of Parliament that destroyed these equipment and then facilities. As we speak, have you heard anything out of it?
No.
So ever since the Speaker checking out that any directives he gives, I take it as one of those political talk. Unless until those that were seen on television destroying state properties brought to book, I don't take anything that he says.
All right. Okay. So, Adam, at the end of the day, the president is being applauded to be allowing the law to work.
Yes.
And what really, just in 2 minutes, is the opinion among you members of Parliament on this subject matter as well?
Roland, I have already explain to you that the fact that government is allowing the due process to be followed, the fact that Mr. Speaker has given permission to the law enforcement agencies to even arrest the NP and arraign him before court, because per our constitutional provisions, before you can arrest a member of Parliament, especially when he is on a parliamentary duty, you need to write to the Speaker to seek permission. We have granted all that, and we have allowed the institutions to work, and we have asked that let the investigations continue. The gentleman has been arraigned before court. My colleague, the MP, he is before court. He will have his day in court. He has his lawyers. He will go and defend himself. I don't see why we are in a hurry
to condemn,
to convict the gentleman when you don't know all the facts. So Solo saying, Zato saying it's Kweku Ananse's story and all of that. Look, if there is anyone on this panel this morning who does not even have the moral authority to comment on the fight against Galamsey, this is Dr. Zato. You have no moral authority.
How do you mean?
Look, even when people were caught on video, taking bribes in order to give concessions,
you mean the
and engage in illegal mining,
issue a statement to them?
Yansika, you don't remember that audio, that video, when they met as party executives to discuss how to entrench Galamsey.
But Zato was not in government at the time.
Whether he was in government, he is here representing the MPP, so he cannot.
But he was not in government at the time.
He does not even have the moral authority to talk about Galamsey. I am saying that the NDC and the NDC government, led by President Mahama, has shown enough commitment to the fight against Galamsey. And I am confident that if indeed the MP is guilty of the things he is accused of, nobody in government will shield him, if indeed he is guilty. But you don't expect me to come and pronounce him guilty. Like I said, I am working with the account from his side. But like I said again in my statement or in my submissions, he will have his day in court because I am not the judge. So I am saying that the fact that the government has permitted for investigations to go on, for the gentleman to be arrested, even the bail conditions, even we as members of Parliament on the majority side, we may disagree with the terms, but we are allowing the institutions to work. That should tell you that we are different. You in the MPP, especially you, Dr. Zato, you have no moral authority to talk about Galamsey. Because if there is any government...
You are saying that because they didn't issue a statement on the Professor
who decided to give Apunta Mining and Co? Who decided to give our forest reserves for Galamsey? Who decided to give our forest reserves?
No, but...
Look, Roland, over the last 10 months...
don't make a right.
Yes, and we are correcting the mess.
Give me the same time to
we are correcting the mess. We are correcting the mess. Roland, before, let me put something on record. Before the NDC came into office, there were 9 forest reserves in this country that were declared red zones that security could not enter because they were captured by Galamseyers. Today, all those 9 forest reserves have been recaptured by this government. They have been reclaimed.
That should tell you that we've made steady progress in the fight against Galamsey. So we allow the law to work. If indeed the MP is guilty, the law will deal with him. If the MP is not guilty as well, the law will set him free.
Not that to your 3 minutes.
What I've said is that, and I'm still saying it, I understand your tribulation and understand the difficulty you have today. Your best friend has been caught in the jaws of the law. You are sitting here this morning trying to use some revisionist history to whitewash him.
He hasn't said it.
Revisionist to whitewash him. I can understand that. I can understand the difficulty you are having to sit here to understand that the person you caused your best friend created conditions to allow a kernel of the Ghana Armed Forces to say that he nearly escaped by the turn of his life. I can understand the situation you have now to say that somebody who clearly defied the orders of the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, you are sitting down here to do that. I can understand your reputation. I can understand your difficulty. But Ghanaians know. The soldiers who went, they know. The soldiers who nearly lost their life know. They understand. The soldiers in the barracks who've seen their command, they cannot do this. They understand. The men and women, the noble men, the other noble men and women in parliament have seen this and they are bowing their head in shame. I'm surprised this morning you're not bowing your head in shame for these shameful, callous, wicked acts of one MP. I'm sure this morning you are not here apologizing for this, for the impudence, for the temerity, and for the arrogance and lawlessness of a member of parliament. I'm happy that this morning you are sitting down here trying to tell us some quack story that we don't know.
But what did the MP do that made him arrogant?
The point is this. The point, yes, to be able to go and face a colonel of the Ghana Armed Forces on duty, even if you believe the narration that Solomon gave you, to go and tell a colonel how to do his work, to go and tell a colonel who has handcuffed people respecting their human rights, and to tell him to do his work, how dare you? Who born you? With what? What makes you think that you know how to do this more than a colonel of the Ghana Armed Forces who is carrying out legal and legitimate commands from the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces? What makes you think that? That's the arrogance, that's the impotence, that's the lawlessness. My point is that,
there's a clarion, it looks like, positional opinion on the table, that it looks like the government and the president allows for rule of law to work. And so, well, his MP has been implicated in this. Indeed, a second one who is out of town or was out of town at the time has been implicated as well. He says investigations to continue. So there's commendation. A minute.
The point I'm making is this: at the end of the day, this case.
Do you think that commendation of allowing law and order, prosecution of even stated individuals who are aligned to the governing party and government to go on is good?
Of course, it's good.
Okay.
I'm not away from that.
Thank you.
This is the point I'm making. Oh, you started. Go.
Okay, thank you very much. Please. So what do you think needs to be done quickly as possible, especially from the point of the Speaker as well, in Parliament, to caution those members of Parliament who could be in some of those areas which are very much Galamsey prone?
I mean, a lot of them are in there. If you go to the Galamsey constituencies, I keep telling you that Galamsey is done by big men in society. And so the MPs there, they came to power through assistance of some of these Galamsey. That's why the Galamseys are embodied. And if we are a serious country and want to rid this canker, we must go back to the basis and revisit the issue of how we finance or fund our political activities. That is what is fueling all this. If you look at the chronology of events, the people were emboldened, the site owner, the so-called Alex and the defense intelligence, they were emboldened because they thought they have everybody in the district at their disposal. I keep telling you that if you go to an area and there is Galamsey, the commander there has to be sacked. The police commander for the district has to be sacked. The NIB person has to be arrested. The national security person has to be arrested. The DC has to be sacked. And I've even included the member of parliament must be surcharged. Because you see these things every day. Now, there is also another twist to it that I will plead of the Zongo chief Efidium. Please.
We're told
he should not annoy us. Please. We have gone beyond trivialities. The country, people are dying, Every day people are dying. The number of people dying now is unprecedented. You were not there. You were not at the scene. You didn't observe anything. You only came into the picture at the police station when tensions had fled. How did you find your voice to all of a sudden issue a statement that the MP did not cause the mob to come? How? Man, Chief, wait, my friend. We are serious this morning. So, Chief, you just rest somewhere. It is a fact that the soldiers' lives were threatened. It's a fact that Kennebua's Hilo speaker has been destroyed, vandalized beyond repairs. It is a fact that the Zongo chief himself, his car was vandalized. On what basis, again, do you come and say that something that you were not there, you say the MP does not have anything to do? Now, finally, let me thank the president for also allowing some of these processes to go on, but to let him understand that there are a lot of elements within his party and government that wish the fight on Galamsey is never won. And these people within that party, they have collaborators in the MPP. They do business together. I'm very surprised that Bobby Ansah had not released the video that he has of MPP NDC people collaborating on Galamsey Bata. I'll call my friend Bobby Ansah, the Accra FM producer, to release that video so that we see people for who they are. We see them for what they are doing to this country, that they don't care.
All right.
And until we have genuine people like Kenebua and his team at NIMOS, this country may never end this Galamsey.
All right, this one's coming from Safer. It says Dr. Zato and the MPP are currently sweating and clutching at straws. They are looking for the first scandal to crucify the NDC. And it's good that investigations are ongoing. And Sir Charles Elho says that I was surprised one of my best panelists, Solo, could not appropriate the security services and the government did not comment for swift action taken on this matter. And
why do you praise the president? What have you done?
Okay, Zah, good morning. Master Planner Junior says that great submission by Dr. Zato. Always a pleasure listening to him with fact and figures analysis, and see how Edem is sweating in the air condition. Naimos Fuompo na Galamsey for Hunaman.
I don't know the best.
Oh, Master Planner.
Okay.
Master Planner, support my regards to him.
Master Planner.
He's very consistent.
Money says NDC will regret if they don't use these two MPs as scapegoats by getting them prosecuted for the right reasons. The law is the law. And then I have Fortune. Fortune Eliklim says, let Dr. Zato know that the current government is a million times better than the MPP government. If all these beautiful ideas were there, why didn't he say it in the past? The swift action taken by the government shows the NDC government is more than serious to prosecute its own if they are wrong. And that is a good departure from what existed over the last 8 years. All right. And say greetings to Adam as well. And, okay, Kojo Chumbuafo. Good morning to you. Says, please ask Dr. Zato a simple question. Has the MPP issued a statement since the Ashanti Regional Chairman was put on trial by the AG as being criminally culpable for engaging in illegal mining? Let it be known that the General Manager of Akunta Mining has stand the state's evidence in the case. So since he wants corporate elements to issue statement, he should drink from his own calabash.
Is it Pito inside?
So why must the party, so he said, why must the NDC party issue a statement on a matter that is still under investigation and that the law must be allowed to work? And then Osei J. Boateng says that the NDC MP's comments and then narratives are inconsistent. If you're on your way to a funeral, what business do you have going to stop a commotion and a fight? Besides, you're not a member of parliament for the area, so why take the keen interest? There's also the issue about he coming in there with tax. He hasn't exonerated himself. All he said was that he was there with party officials. Do we have party officials also coming in alongside the tax? It's a concern everybody should be raising an issue about. And then Eric Kwame, Nameto Kwame, says that we must take exception to Dr. Zato calling the contribution of Edem Agbana, the Honorable, as Kukwanan's story. Okay. Again, had the Honorable in the neighboring driven away on reaching the town of Hridiem in which the chaos was taking place and did not do anything about the mob action. So those are some of the issues. But look, let's come to the substantive as well. The president says that there should be a forensic audit into the organization and expenditure thereof of the 2023 All-African Games. Adams. I said Adams. Adam.
Yes. Roland.
I'm very happy about this call for forensic audit into the All-African Games. As a sports person, I was very happy that we decided to host the All-African Games here in Ghana. There are many, many benefits that comes with hosting such events in your country. And I will even encourage that my government will also push for us to host some events in the future of this nature. But Roland, what we saw at the 2023 All-African Games was nothing but an avenue for the then NPP government to loot the public resources of these states. I am convinced that any proper forensic audit into the operations or into the organization of the 13th All-African Games held here in Ghana will lead to the arrest and prosecution of many, many, many people. Because, Roland, the figures were so outrageous, very ridiculous. For example, how do you convince me that you spent $145 million on the Boteman Sports Complex? How do you convince me that you spent over $4 million on tax? You know what a tag is? Accreditation.
Maybe they were of
which quality? Which
tech,
quality?
High tech.
Roland, we were there. A game that was organized, that even when they needed a podium to display winners of some competition, they wrote it on paper. Shambolic organization. Shambolic. It was shambolic organization. Look, the PE team at Josek could have organized a better sporting event than what they did at the All-African Games. We saw how shambolic the organization was. And yet, look, when the figures came, look at the amount. I am happy that the president has ordered for forensic audit. My only humble appeal is that this should not be one of the many investigations that we really do not see the tail end of it. Because, Roland, the All-African Games remains a dent on our fight against corruption, because it is one of the low-hanging fruits. So I will call it low-hanging fruits. Roland, look at the amount that they mentioned that they spent on feeding the athletes.
$50 million.
$50 million. 15.
Yes.
Roland, $50 million.
But there were 13,000 people who came.
With do your calculation for the number of days.
They were not 13,000, they were 5,000.
They were, look, do you just do even the calculation, the official report. How many athletes came?
Maybe 5,000.
And many of the countries, many of the teams that came even complained that either the food wasn't coming early, they have to cater for themselves and others. Roland, look at how much they spent for the renovation of the hostels in Legon. Do you know that the amount they spent for the renovation of the hostel was more than the cost of building a new hostel? Elizabeth Say Hall. I was in Legon. I was a student at the time they opened these halls. These were fairly new halls or hostels that with little or no renovation athletes could have used.
But the
we were told that they refurbished by bringing AC and fan and other things. What else? Well, what else did they do in there that the cost was more than building a new hostel facility altogether? I am happy that President Mahama has called for the forensic audit, and will urge the team to do a good job so that people be prosecuted for the grandiose crimes that they committed during these All-African Games. Dr. Zato, speak to it.
But why? He was in government at the time. And I remember when Mr. Yusuf, that is the current member of parliament, who then was sports minister, was hauled before the Public Accounts Committee. He gave some explanation as to what the expenditure was and why the expenditure was justified. But then how would you then describe this call by the president for this forensic investigation to be undertaken on the expenditure?
Okay. Thank you very much. I have to say about something. There's a phenomenon called the split screen phenomenon.
Is it a theory?
It's a phenomenon called split screen.
Split screen. Please,
it happens sometimes when there's a story and you want to change the narrative, then you put another story. So all of a sudden you have two. It's like seeing two different games on. NDC is on the ropes for Galamsey, and then overnight we're like, hey, let's throw in a stadium and then change the narrative. I call that split screen. That is it. But that's on a lighter note. On the bigger note, my position on all these things are clear, and even Roland, you can understand that. I've stated my position on regime accountability and post-regime accountability. That is clear. I've never hidden from that. And I've stated my position that, for me, that so long as you raise your hand to take an oath to defend the public health, you've raised it, you must be accepted for accountability. I've said that. I've also said that so long as people's fundamental human rights are respected, the presumptions of innocence and all that crap in the Constitution, so long as you respect it, because, I mean, you came willingly to serve the people, and whatever happens, let the court of competent jurisdiction decide. I have said all those things. But I've also said this, and I'm going to say this. You should be outraged by these figures. You should be. I said this on Saturday on Key Points, and I'm repeating it. Be outraged by these figures. That they are ridiculous, they are horrendous. But also then think about it. Once, if you are outraged by them, like Eden said, I want you to think about one thing. Just think for 1 minute. Imagine these figures. Tomorrow, that Honorable Dominic Ayine is moved to Foreign Affairs, and you are made Attorney General, and then you go there and issue a nolle prosecutor to throw this in award. How would you feel? Imagine if tomorrow a new Attorney General comes and these issues are not solved, and that Attorney General flashes out these financial figures and because of this, how would you feel? And for me, that's what I always said. That thing we did, the thing that the state did, the Nelson Prosecco, has rendered the argument of the state against all these people. Because what you've done is that by doing that, you were condoning corruption. You've condoned corruption.
Zato, would you say, if, let's say, the Honorable Yusuf, all right, would be involved in this case, and the case will still travel the long haul of 8 years, it will be fair, or it doesn't matter?
I'm not a lawyer. I don't know why cases travel that long. There must be reason. There are judges there. There's a legal process. We talked here last week about how to reform the legal process. In fact, some of the delays, I think I've been told, some of the delays are not caused by the defense. Sometimes the delays are caused by the state itself.
You mean the
prosecution itself. So if you cause a delay, the bigger point, let me make the point. The bigger point I'm making is this. Let the law take its own course. Let these people be investigated. They will have their day in court. They will defend themselves. And at the end of the day, their guilt or their innocence should be pronounced by a court, by a judge, not a politician. At the end of the day, whether they go to jail or they go home should not be determined by a politician. The day that all these knowledge prosecutors were issued to fly down 10 million cities is the day this government lost any moral standing to criticize anybody of corruption. The day they did that. The day that you decided to do that. The day that you decided to give your friends...
So is your position that because a knowledge prosecutor...
Yes, it's my position
was filed by the AG...
Because the AG gave sweetheart deals his political opponents and flies down 10 million cities on 10 billion cities down the drain, you have lost any moral right. You didn't blame anybody else from it because I want you to think about it. The total amount of this and what is how much? Imagine we're collecting all these monies.
Yeah.
That's my position. I'm going
to make $245 million.
Thank you.
At the time, the CD was traveling between 14 and 16 cities.
Hallelujah. Imagine, just imagine.
What's your hallelujah to? The cost of the funding?
I've already told you about trade by the figure. Then just imagine.
$50 million was spent on food.
Just imagine one day with all these figures. A politician comes and decides that, you know what, this person is my friend. I will even go, I will throw it away. Imagine that.
All right.
Just imagine that. And for me, so the day this, and I have to say this, and I'll say it again, this is the cardinal sin of corruption that this government has committed. And any attempt to shout from the rooftops, to hold press conferences, to try to paint members of the government as black and as corrupt as possible, this cardinal and primary sin remains that what you have done is as worse as, if not worse than, anybody else you want to charge. Because You do not pick and choose who to hold accountable. You hold all accountable.
So we have key expenditure like the $15 million for food. And I asked some of my friends who are into sports, particularly those who have been experienced, have gone to tournaments, and they say for safety of the athletes and the health of the athletes, usually countries and teams do not allow host countries and teams or cities or football clubs to feed because you never know what could happen. Yes, or put something there for your players to be running. So usually the countries, when they go for tournaments, come with their own chefs, their own everything, and so don't depend on the budgets or the feeding of the host countries. That is what I was told. And then you have things like, the expenditure for them to be able to use for operational, budget was around 47 million, for example. Yes, miscellaneous and some of those things, contingencies and all that. What do you make of this investigation? Do you think it's been long overdue? It should have even been done by 2024, etc. And why?
Let me first of all say that Zato has not been fair to TV3, your producers, everyone involved in this morning show this morning.
Why?
The allusion to this play screen phenomena is not good enough because we come here to discuss issues. The sense I gathered from his rendition is that you were just doing equalization, that because you brought in the issue of NIMOS, you also decided to bring in the All Africa Games. I don't get it.
I think he was talking about the government. That the government, because he asked when did the government issue the statement for...
No, but you brought the topic here. So
yes, because I thought it was topical.
It's just topical. And then it's a topical. He must be concerned.
As an editorial team, we thought it was...
And I'm also very much disappointed in you if he says, by virtue of the fact that knowledge protocol has been filed, anyone who has stolen from this country must be left off the hook.
I've never said that.
That is what that implied that you. When you were speaking, I was here. I wasn't.
No. This morning, a lot of injustice has been done to me, so I won't agree. I've never said that.
Dr. Zato.
No, now I wasn't interrupt because I've never interrupted anybody.
Did I interrupt you?
Let's go. I never said that. I've not said that. No. You see, Roland.
Dr. Zato.
So
Dr. Zato. Dr. Zato. So please, you shared an opinion that the issuing of the nolle prosequa means that the government has no business, lost that credibility to instigate or start any form of corruption-related case.
So that's what I've explained to you. So am I not fair to as it were, analyze it in the way? That's all. You cannot say that.
I've tried not to be disruptive of the program.
You let me go on.
I've tried that.
If you have tried, keep that. Remain there.
So you are saying that his categorization is unfair?
It's unfair. It's unfair.
Why?
It's unfair because the point is that you and I know, we have known this matter since 2024, that all Africa Games, I don't want to hear irregularities, I don't want to hear misalignment, it's pure thievery and stealing. Let's get it straight.
Pure thievery and stealing?
Look, a typical case in point. Before the Public Accounts Committee, the former Minister of Youth and Sports, Yusuf, what's the name? Yusuf Ahmed, or what's it? Well, it will come. Yusuf. Told the entire world that the ministry had extended more than $3 million to the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. You remember that?
Mustafa Yusuf.
He told you that they actually paid Ghana Broadcasting Corporation more than $3 million to air. Is that not the case? Immediately he said, and here let me salute Professor Alassane Amin, the Director General of Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. It did not take him more than 24 hours to say, hey, wait a minute, what are you talking about? You are saying you pay GBC more than $3 million. We only received $105,000.
Oh, are you saying the minister?
You do the deduction. He lied. He lied before the country. He lied. You understand? Just like Adam has said, who pays $60 million to buy air conditions? These three halls, they are in very good conditions. In fact, the university took a facility
Elizabeth C. Hall.
I went there personally. And the sad aspect of it is that immediately after the games, they went and stole all the air conditions.
They were removed?
They were removed. I bet you it will not cost more than $500,000 what they did. It will not. Even if it gets to $500,000, we must question those that bought it. Why? Air conditioning doesn't give. Is it air conditioner that gives life? Is that what are you talking about?
High level air conditioning.
High level air conditioning. Look, the number of athletes that took part in this All Africa Games, they were not more than 3,000. Take it from me. And like I said, the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Liberians, and all those that came, they don't know how to eat wache, fufu, and pesi, and so on and so forth. In fact, they brought their own chefs. They were eating from their chef's foods. So they couldn't have...
Moroccans...
How can Moroccan come and eat fufu? You see, this country, when they are stealing from it, they are not even stealing with proper debt. Moroccan coming here to eat fufu. But we were told that we are spending $15 million in cooking. You see, one thing that saddens my heart is that this country, people that are put in positions of authority, they take advantage of the country anytime we have a difficulty. You remember the issue with COVID? When COVID struck, they took advantage of it and milked this country. Ran this country aground. The All Africa Games, it was supposed to take place in 2023. But because we were not done with our infrastructure, we had to plead with the organizers to shift it to 2024. And when we realized that the country was under pressure, that was when all these things happened. Tax, close to $4 million expended on tax. When Olympic Games, not up to 750,000.
Take tax.
Which one is it? Mere paper. The one who hold it will get a ton. They gave it to you and told you that they expended it. And the minister was bold. And the organizers, they were going about because in this country, they think that it won't get to anywhere. You get my point. TMA Sports Stadium in Takwa, from scratch, Goldface Ghana expended only a little over $13 million. $13 million they used to construct a fresh stadium. Now, University of Ghana Sports Stadium, it was almost 84% complete. These people looked straight into you and I.
Which one?
Yusuf and his 13th All Africa Games Committee. They told us that they expended $34 million to finish it. Remember, the Aliu Muhammad Sports Stadium, how much it cost this country to construct it. Aliu Muhammad Sports Stadium did not cost more than $20 million. Esipon did not cost more than $20 million. Just finishing 16% of a stadium, we were told that it costed $34 million. Why do we do these things to ourselves? I told you that day, I was at the emergency unit of Kolebu. People were dying just like biscuits. Why? Because when they are brought to the emergency unit, bed to even sleep on, machines to take care of them, we don't have it. It does not cost much, but these monies find their ways into private pockets. That is why the youth of this country must be angry because their future is being stolen. So I welcome, though late, but I believe that the president has done what is right by calling for a forensic audit. I only plead. I see the president trying to strike all the good news, but who would carry out these instructions? Are the people going to carry out these instructions faithful to this nation? Will they be faithful? Will they not go and show changes? But I can assure you that after the forensic audit, there will be more expose. Because forensic audit, what it does is that it then goes into the details of every transaction. If you claim that you received $1 million for the purchase of air conditioning, there has to be a trace from the bank account of the 13th All Africa Games or the ministry to the vendor. And that is where the problem of the day lies. It has to be solved for 10 over 10. So it's a good thing, and every Ghanaian must follow it religiously. And let me end on this note. I hear a lot of people say that why don't you shift more focus on the current government? Look, even in the banks, when you advance more loans and in a year it does not come back, you pause every loan, and what you do is that you go for recoveries. The country Ghana is now going for all the recoveries that has been stolen in the past. We must not allow them. Now it seems to me that individuals in this country are richer than the country Ghana, and so they have the booties in their pockets. It is for all of us to go for it, and the 13th All Africa Games is one of such issues. But Teman, who will build such a stadium at $145 million? Who will do that? Who will do that? The stadium.
Have you seen the stadium?
It does not qualify to even cost this country more than $50 million. They overblew it to satisfy their pockets and not the nation. Added to that, there were a lot of lands that were acquired for the state around that area, the Botema area. Go and check the politicians that bought all the state lands over there. They sold it to themselves. This country, it's as though the wealth of the nation has been given to few individuals just to utilize it to their personal benefit. It is time for us to revert back to the founding principles of those that fought for this country. That none of these political parties, their founders, were so much ingrained in monetary politics, in money. I saw national chairman of both the National Democratic Congress and the MPP who died as paupers. J.H. Mensah, as a minority leader, died without having a house in Accra, but he fought for this, for the MPP. Current generation, people who were 6 years old at the time that the party was formed, they come to government and they're still beyond their ages. They still, when the people, their height, look at their height, the amount of money that they have stolen, if you pack it, it will be taller than their height. This is what is going on. We cannot continue like that, else we are stealing the future of the younger generation.
General Secretary of the United Party.
You are taking your position. Please, apologize to YB. I don't want to take a position.
My apologies. The Communications Director for the United Party. UP,
United Party.
Thank you very much. And then Dr. Jabuntie Zato, Dr. Joshua Jabuntie Zato is also here as well. Thank you for passing. You want to have a last word, Yoko? Okay. And then also, thank you also for passing through as well. You want to have a last word?
Yes, why not?
Okay. No, not on the subject, any other matter.
Oh, not on this subject.
No. So okay.
Well, I thought we were going to talk about this subject. Well, if I'm to have the last word, I want to use your platform to appreciate the charity Galley Foundation for Education for the projects they are about to construct in my constituency. We are constructing a 3-in-1 multi-purpose education resource center, which will house an ICT lab, a science lab, so that surrounding schools can have the opportunity to use all these science lab equipment and all of that, conduct whatever test, and to see the chemical reactions and all the other things. And we also have a community library. I want to particularly appreciate Professor Dobo Agbeko Odion Kumoji and his team for what they are doing, and also call for support for them. We'll be putting out some numbers and short codes so that benevolent people like Solom and yourself can also donate. As for Dr. Zato,
he said you should come to Sisala East. Don't always remain in Accra.
I will come. If he invites me, I will come.
Oh, he's always invited.
He goes to Sisala East
every weekend to go and do propaganda.
Oh.
And when he goes there, he has his camera.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. I have this one from Prince Daniel York from the UK. It says that, my condolences to Solo. To lose a family is not easy. The forensic audit is you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I did run me. Sorry, Solomon. My deepest condolences.
My funeral bills are on you anyway, so not just condolences. You come and
I brought myself. Okay.
You say they have all the money.
They have all the money.
The forensic audit is a pivotal. The forensic audit is a pivotal step in Ghana's push for transparency in public spending, and also to prevent future spending. Indeed, Ghana was a crime scene, and this has to be corrected. And Osai Boateng, I see your message as well. Thank you very much. Edem, also, I see your message. And this one is from Eric Ameto Kwame. Mr. Kwame, good morning to you. He says, please ask Mr. Zato for me that if he were an AG and he comes to meet a simple case of corruption ongoing for 8 years with no end in sight, what will he do about it? You want to answer?
They say you didn't commend Maoli for our 75th anniversary.
Oh, but
I'm not the one saying it.
But that thing was 3 months ago.
No, only last week. But it was nice. I saw it. Well. It was nice.
He invited you, didn't invite you.
But we also commissioned our project.
It's okay. It's okay.
You see the UP-NDC collaboration. You see the UP-NDC collaboration.
Okay, gentlemen.
That's the UP-NDC collaboration.
We are for all parties. You can also join us.
Money says, Dr. Zato, your MPP had 8 years and could not prosecute anyone, yet you want the current government to come and get evidence from where to do the prosecution on the same cases, because there was no prosecution in the first place. And then, okay, so I have this one from Zomra. Zomra says that it's not the government that asked TV3 to discuss the topics. Indeed, it's the editorial team. And let's see how, okay, split screen phenomenon. Hey, Okay. Split screen. You said, what does it mean again? The split screen phenomenon.
No, it's used.
It's more or less equalization. He's telling equalization.
Anyway, for all those who have sent our messages, we're grateful. And then also those who are on our stream sharing our views, we're grateful that you're able to give us some good views today. You've reduced to 3,000 though, by the way, but it was 3 at some point. So I see Abdul Yusuf say, I really enjoyed the show this morning. Keep it up. That's Yusuf Abdul Raouf. Alfred Dodu, good morning to you. It's been a while I've seen you, and says that the corruption cases there, they will be investigated, whether Dr. Zato likes them or not. Joanna Quay also has a message. And then also Kwesi Pano says that, Roland, make sure you have Nanaya Jantua tomorrow. And then also Yemole Yemo, good morning to you. As well as Eje Boateng says that all the things that have happened also show that we have a government that is willing to hold its own accountable. And that should be the pivotal point of the discussions. And then Empress Wagner said, Roland, read the insults. I cannot read the insult. Editorially, we are not allowed to read insults. All right. And then I have this one from Philo. And so Philo, Philo has sent this message. So I'll read this one before I tell you about. Okay. So, and she says, all the Mustafas are thieves. Mustafa 1 and Mustafa 2, who said careless.
That cannot be true.
Yeah, not all Mustafas are thieves. You actually, names are not coterminous to armed robbery or thievery or corruption, etc. CM, all MPP members, including, should be thrown in a naval forest because they are criminals, you say. All right, so Philly and the rest of the family, wishing you all the best for the day. But in the meantime as well, we have the PEC biscuits as well as confectionaries right here. So we have a number of flavors.
Would you give us some?
Yes, we will. Butter cookies.
Last week you said you don't give us some.
No, these are props. They are props.
But now my 5-year-old son and 11-year-old kids are watching. They can say, where are the biscuits? They will think I ate them in their car.
Okay, so Daddy didn't eat them. So we have.
You must give us a full.
So we have. So we have butter cookies being the flavor, the choco filled cookie as well, and then we have the coconut flavor, all available. I bet Kings will love them as well. So I have to bring. Kings celebrated the birthday not too long ago. So, and then also, so you have to make sure that you pack up your day the Milky Way. You have to do that with the rich, smooth tastes of peck milk shortcake, and it is just pure delight. They have the various flavors for you. So if it is coconuts as well as butter, or also just the choco-filled cookies that you need for peck, you can find them in available shops near you. We're taking a break. When we come back, we will bring you the latest sports headlines right here in the studio. Dr. Zato as well as Solomon, the rest, Edem as well. Thank you for passing through the studios. A break. We will be right back.
Cash outs, Friday, November 7th, 20.